Jason has been excited about this one since we decided we were going to do it, and I'm just still shaking my head.
But we want to know about your experience about becoming a shaman.
Well,
the training that you did, the tools, the experiences, all that fantastic shaman stuff, because people love shamans.
Well, for a while, I've always felt like, as we all do, feel this connection to Native Americans. And I was reading a book and I saw the word shaman in it. And I felt this really strong connection to the word shaman. And I didn't realize it, but I felt like maybe in a past life or in another lifetime or something along those lines that I was actually a shaman. And I thought, well, how awesome would it be to be a shaman, because they get to heal people, they get to help people, they get to see different worlds. There's so much mysticism to shamans. And I thought, well, that just sounds amazing to me. And then I happened to find a teacher that was teaching Peruvian shamanism. And this teacher actually learnt from Peruvian shamans in Peru, I believe. Because she also trained under one of the guys called Alberto Villoldo. And I trained under her, and it's a very interesting journey, because you're supposed to go through all the directions of south, west, north and east, and each direction has its own animal. I remember there's like a lot that I remember, and so much that happened that I probably don't remember everything. When you first start, you get given the rites, and the rites are pretty much your directions. You get the serpent in south, so there's a serpent for south, there's jaguar for west, hummingbird for north, and eagle for east. And the serpent is all about letting go, shedding your skin, being really connected to the earth, because the serpent walks on its belly. Then you've also got the jaguar. The jaguar helps you travel pretty much through the shadow.
The underworld.
Realistically, it's the underworld, your unconscious pretty much. And then you've got hummingbird, who just enjoys the sweet nectar of life, and eagle, who has a higher perception. But then you also get other totems or something along those lines, and they get placed in your throat, third eye and crown. The one in your throat is Huasca Inca, and Huasca Inca is the guardian of the underworld pretty much.
In the throat chakra.
Yeah. In your third eye is Quetzalcoatl. And to me, Quetzalcoatl reminds me of Falcor from Never-Ending Story.
Oh, the
flying dragon.
Dog
dragon.
Dragon.
So Quetzalcoatl reminds me of Falcor from the Never-Ending Story. And then on your crown, you get Pachacuti, who's supposedly supposed to be the king. Pachacuti is the king of the Incas, and supposedly supposed to be the connection to all that there is in the universe. I went through all these directions, and I do remember going through these directions, and we had to release a lot of things. We had to release a lot of old perceptions, a lot of things that we identified with. There was a lot of fires involved, because we use fires to transmute. So there was a lot of fires involved. I remember one time we were in Box Hill, and we were in the alleyway somewhere in Box Hill, and we were lighting like little mini fires, trying to transmute all the things that we're trying to let go of. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope no one sees us here, because we're in like almost the city, lighting fires.
And this was like, because you said to me, oh yeah, we're expected to, do this at 2:00 in the morning.
Sometimes it ran to like all hours of the morning. There are some nights where it ran all hours of the morning. There are some of the things that we needed to do was pretty much stand in the center with the fire, because fire is so important about transformation and transmuting and clearing. And so fire was a lot. We did a lot of fire gatherings, a lot of firework as well. I do remember one instance that we were preparing to do a direction for training, and we had to light a fire, and I was in the middle of the backyard at a friend's place, and all of a sudden there was lightning all around. It was a lightning storm, and I'm thinking to myself, and it was raining, and my fire went out, and I'm thinking, what am I supposed to do here? Stand here while I've got lightning going on crazy around me? So I kind of just went undercover and did my fire there, because I wasn't expecting it to rain and to be a lightning storm.
Yeah, that's a bit interesting, isn't it?
It just happened all of a sudden. And I was discussing with Jason, we were talking to him, he wanted to really do this topic and I wasn't sure about it. And we were discussing that, I guess when you're in the New Age, I do apologize to people in the New Age community, but a lot of us want to rush our training. A lot of us want to rush our training and get to the destination. And what I realized is that even though I'm actually still going through training, I've stopped. I haven't practiced in any of the practicing, but I'm actually still doing the training even up until this day. Because we discussed that when you're actually training with a Peruvian shaman or any shaman that I've discovered, it takes you years. You are still an apprentice for years, sometimes even 30 years before you are actually considered to be a shaman. And what we were talking about is for example, when you're doing in the south, so you're letting go for the serpent aspect, you're letting go of all the skin. And then when you let go of all the skin, you go into west, and you pretty much are walking the underworld. You're walking your subconscious. You're actually going through your shadow, trying to reveal what's going on there. And you have a jaguar with you to help you. And I didn't realize that I have actually been walking my shadow, or not walking my shadow, but discovering my shadow for years. It's not a job that can be done in a weekend.
In 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's not a job that can be done in 5 minutes in a weekend. And that was what I thought at the time. Now looking back at it, I realize that it has taken me years to actually understand that I was still walking in the west direction, uncovering all my shadow, uncovering all the things that I thought that I had held hidden to me. And only now I realize that I'm actually stepping out of that and stepping into the hummingbird phase. And
which is more the sweetness.
Yeah, which is more the sweetness of life. It's, being able, because a hummingbird is able to move in all directions because of the way it flies and moves. It's able to move in all directions. So it's really interesting how I perceived that rushing through all the directions, it actually doesn't work. You're still actually working through your directions, even if you do complete the training.
I remember when I was a student, I wanted to rush through it as well. I want to be the master, in a split second. And you're right, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work
it's
that
all about
way.
The journey.
Yeah, I think I stopped doing. We stopped even before we got together. What was that? We've been together
6 going on 7 years.
So it could be 10 years that I haven't done any training or anything along those lines. And I only just figured out that I was actually still in the west, now heading towards the north. So it was really interesting that I didn't actually realize that. I thought sorry if I keep jumping all over the place. It's like I'm getting all these memories back. And I remember when we were doing the training, we would get placed into a different direction. A majority of people were placed in north, but there were only a select few that were placed in west. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to be in the west. I don't want to be a shaman of the west, because that means that you're walking through your shadow or your subconscious all the time. And I just didn't want to be it. But and everyone kept saying to me, no, but the teacher kept saying to me, no, but the shamans of the West, they're one of the most powerful because they can actually walk through the shadow. And I just remember going, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. But now I completely understand where they're coming from.
You're clearing your stuff.
Yeah, you're absolutely clearing all your shadow, all your shit, all your dramas.
Your fear.
Your fear, absolutely. And I have now a greater appreciation for those healers that are able to do that. All I wanted was to be able to be balanced, because you've got the wheel, and if you're in the center of the wheel, then to me you're balanced, because you're actually able to be in any direction and to be in harmony with any direction and be able to use the energy of each direction by being balanced and centered.
But maybe your pathway is to do, of course, which is the journey, is going to one, healing that, working through that, going to until you become all with one within that circle.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.